Might check again. I was checking settings. Is this better?
in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all to Down Under. We're here in Australia for the eighth round of the sixth season of this season of the JF. Alongside me, in his really, really good looking McLaren shirt is Easy Turtle. Welcome one and all. And hi, Easy Turtle. How is your weekend coming along?
Hello everyone. So the weekend has been great for me and I hope everyone is excited to for this coming up race at Melbourne.
So yes, Easy Turtle, I believe, former race driver as well. So Easy Turtle, if you did realize something about the Australian Grand Prix this race, it may not be that apparent through this second map displayed on screen right now, but have you realized something about this the second map for this current Albert Park Street circuit, as opposed to the last time race here? Have you noticed the section between turns 8 and 9 is no longer a corner there? Now it is going to be a long straight, if you notice.
Yes, definitely. So right now when I tried out the new tracks, I'm still very used to the old track where I kind of want to make the corners for the old 9 and 10 corners, but it isn't there anymore and it feels very weird to just go flat out throughout that whole entire section.
Of course. And I don't know about you, but I believe it's going to be a huge factor in tonight's race. It's going to be a scene of a lot of overtakes. It's going to be a scene of a lot of drivers trying to get used to the new format. And obviously, the F1 23 game is the first game in the series whereby the iconic slow speed chicane at 10.9 has now shifted to the very fast flowing 9 and 10, a quick left and right corner, which tends to get lots of drivers off guard right there. And obviously, with a very dangerous gravel trap there and two dangerous high caps, uh, having prone to have drivers spinning out right there. So it is going to be a very dangerous corner. Breaking in from top speed is the longest straight of the circuit. Is no longer the start finish straight, but now that whole section between turn 6, 7, 8, and 9 is going to be a very, very long straight where drivers just continue to go flat out until the 10, 9, 10 breaking point. And obviously, it is going to be a very dangerous corner. Are you expecting anyone to touch it to have any sort of offering there? Are you expecting any vehicles, any drivers to just make a mistake there and having a race ruin?
I think it's pretty easy to make mistakes, especially for turn 10, because if you run any wider, you will hit the gravel trap, and it's very easy for any drivers to spin out. And especially when drivers try to overtake down to turn 9, it compromises both drivers' uh, how would I say, racing line towards turn 10. So it's a very hard technical corner for any drivers, especially even for a very high caliber driver. So it's a corner that we should really watch out throughout the whole entire race itself, and also qualifying, because people are trying to go flat out, gain as much time as possible, so trying to maximize as much track they do have. So drivers do tend to dip their wheels down onto the gravel trap, without, not on purpose, but yeah, and with that it can cause quite a lot of drivers to spin out.
Now, we didn't mention that we have a pool of very high caliber drivers here in the GF. Now, with the format here in Albert Park, now that we have less breaking points with removal of the chicane there, are you expecting to see a little bit of a peloton race tonight, whereby drivers just tend to keep behind one another and not tend to make any moves, because by being in front, you're not going to get the benefit of the DRS by the driver in front, and also you're going to waste your time burning your tires, because now you're leading the pack and you're just giving a benefit of your substitution to the car behind. So are you expecting that sort of race this evening?
I think there will be two groups of drivers where there will be drivers that are just gonna fly off because they're able to master the whole entire sector 3 where it's more technical, where there's more 90-degree bends. It's about drivers braking a bit earlier, carrying the speed throughout the corners and all, which isn't easy for all drivers to master. I myself also struggle with, especially in the sector 3 itself. So it isn't easy, and there will be lots of overtaking done because this track has a total of 4 DRS zone, and with DRS and drivers going for those setups for more straight line speed, it does help to cover up uh for drivers that do lack in cornering, how do I say, cornering skills, cornering speed. So I don't think there will be lots of action going on. So I do hope everyone do continue to stay and watch out throughout this whole entire uh session.
Well, obviously, most of the time in a given lap is won and lost over corners itself. Um, that's because if this is going to be a track, something like what is seen in IndyCar, NASCAR, it's just going to be cars going around the loop and loop again, and it's just going to be a huge peloton all the way from lap 1 to the final lap. And obviously, I wouldn't say that it's not going to be involving any skill, but obviously way less compared what is in Formula 1, whereby you need the straight line speed, you need a balance of the confidence in the corners, confidence in the cars, and also how quickly the car can go as well. So a lot more factors in Formula 1 as compared to other sports as well. But even in the esports context, where we're all racing along virtually, there's definitely, that's what they say, there's definitely a distinction between the good drivers and the better ones, obviously. So without further ado, let's have a look at some of the teams that we have for this current season. So first up, one of the teams that we have will be the let's see, we have the McLaren team. This time, a little bit of impressive changes we're seeing. Sinpo now being the first driver of the team, lead driver for the first time in his career in the JF as a Sinpo, and now alongside having a teammate of BSIM. So BSIM, unfortunately, has no longer he's no longer a permanent driver here at the JF. It's been replaced by Hidris, taking his spot. And fortunately, I don't think Hidris is coming along today. Yes, Hidris is not here today. BSIM is now a reserve driver, owing to his commitments as well. And clearly, his hot lap in the Bahrain a little bit slower compared to Simpo, but 2 seconds slower. Simpo, with the most experience of any driver here in the JF, all 5 seasons. I can't believe it, Easy Sasso. Well, Simpo, obviously, well, we know that he may not have the pace, but definitely he has determination here, Easy Sasso.
Yes, definitely, and I do feel that this season Simple has made a humongous leap forward in terms of his driving skills, and he's much more consistent, and that is why if you're able to see all his past results, he's able to bang in some points throughout the last, I would say, the last 3 races. So it's a huge accomplishment for him himself.
Of course, here in the Jeff, we focus on development. It's all about the driver development right here. And Simple miraculously has, well, as a matter of fact, he has only failed to score in 2 races this season. That's race 2 in France and as well as race 4 in Britain. And let's not forget, race 2 in France, the only reason why he didn't score is because he did not start the race. He did in the 10. So if you're going to talk about his attendance wise, he's only failed to score in 1 out of the 6, was it 6? 1 out of these, no, 7, 1 of the 7 races that he participated in. So that is Simple's career best. If I don't think I've seen any better consistency here from a midfielder here, Easy Turtle.
Yes, and I'm very proud of Simple being able to make such a huge step forward, especially compared to his last season, where he tends to make a bit mistakes. I mean, in this season himself, he does make a few mistakes, but I would say his consistency is much way better compared to all his previous season.
And then, of course, is running out into P13 in the driver championship right now with 14 points. And let's forget, he's just 2 points off previous season 2 champion too. He was coming in 12 with 16 points, Sinpo with 14. So that degree of consistency from Sinpo and his high attendance rate has propelled him to maybe challenge or position midfield. And obviously, Sinpo is the driver who's carrying the McLaren team on his shoulder right now. He's the only team in he's the only driver in McLaren who is scoring points, and that's put McLaren into 9th place in the constructors. So hats off to Sinpo for doing that here, Easy. So I really hope that every team in the GF looks at this example and hopefully a story of determination right here.
Mm.
Yes. And now let's look at other teams. First up, Aston Martin as well. So Aston Martin, this time we're holding 2 drivers. In fact, 2 pretty strong ones as well. Currently 8th in the standings, but let's not count them out. We do have Brandy He and Kendra. Both of them. Brandy He raced with him in season 4 myself, and he's definitely no pushover. He at one point contesting for the championship itself, but owing to attendance issues, he just just drop off towards the end. So Brandy, he clearly trying to make amends this season here, Easy Total. I believe you raced with him as before during that season.
And yes, he's definitely someone that does have the pace, and I'm very sure that he's able to compete for podium positions when any of the top drivers down there make any mistakes or like unable to attend. Because in his previous few races that he managed to attend, he managed to get into the 4th positions twice. So one in Britain and also another one in USA Qatar.
Of course, and that's Brandy He for you. And can you imagine that him with that sort of pace is only a second driver in the team, the first driver. In fact, Kendra, who's a rookie, 6 tenths faster in terms of a Bahrain hot lap compared to himself. So we do have a very strong Aston Martin team this season, but just unfortunate that the only reason why they're 8th in the standings is due to the attendance issues. They're not coming in often enough. So easy to well. Do you think that if they really want to like become second at the top, they really need to come and attend the races for the final 4, including this one?
I think for them to compete right at the top, it will be a bit hard because there's only about 3 races left, including this race itself. So it's a bit hard for them to gain a lot of more points to compete for the against teams that are right at the top positions. But for midfielder teams, I'm sure they have the capability to compete against those drivers. But the first thing first, they have to settle with their attendance issue, because if you're unable to attend, you're already straight away scoring 0 points.
Of course, and let's not forget the management team has been putting a bit of enforcement in terms of attendance this season as compared to previous months. Attendance issues. If drivers have not attended for 2 races, they will be given a little bit of a warning. No, if they've not attended 3 races so far, they'll be given a little bit of a heads up, a warning from the management that if they do not attend even one more race from then on to the very end, they will not be entitled to any prizes owing to the end of the season. So I don't know what to take about this, Easy Settle, but I believe it is it is a good deterrent, but do you think it may scare off new drivers joining the JF as a driver?
I don't think it will scare off any driver, because it isn't that great because there are lots more drivers trying to compete under JAF itself, and there's only a maximum of 20 seats. So we do want to fill in these 20 seats with drivers that are more determined to really put up a try to put up a good fight against other drivers. And we don't want drivers that are a bit half committed towards this championship itself, because at this rate we won't have the maximum full grid, and it won't be as entertaining for the spectators itself.
Of course, but definitely driver discipline is something which is really important here in the GF. We aim to foster a culture of drivers who are definitely committed to completing a season of us, and obviously to provide you guys as the audience some good racing action, especially in a very Singapore context, whereby most of the drivers here are Singaporeans, and it is amazing to see the JF as a goal to develop a esports racing culture here in Singapore. So a great shout out to all drivers, all staff involved as well, including the management team for coming up with this idea of the JF to help develop this sort of racing esports culture in Singapore as well. And well, without further ado, let's go to our third team that we're about to cover. That's the Haas team. And Haas, well, currently ranked third in the Drivers' Championship. Can you believe that? And obviously, with one of the drivers, well, he's ranked second in the constructors, second in the driver's standing now. That's Heejin with 91 out of 127 points scored. And Heejin, can't look at that. Both of them almost identical lap times in Bahrain. When it's submitted this time there, just 2 100ths of seconds separated them. Can't believe it, Easy Total. Look at this gap. So I don't know how to describe this, but I don't think that there's a distinct first or second driver here. But obviously, Gangsta Amsterdam being a rookie, owing to that slightly faster lap time, being a first driver here. But do you think Heejin has somewhat more points to be a first driver here, given his point scoring streak here at the GF?
I think in a team itself, it's always fair to say that we shouldn't put who's first or second, but obviously, in a real world situation, we have to prioritize certain drivers because they are able to show more capability compared to the other drivers. And if you do look at the result itself throughout all the races that is being done this season itself, Heejin does bang in all the good points for the whole entire team compared to his teammate, and his only worst position for Heejin is at France, where he only scored 6 points. He was able to continue to put in lots of help to accumulate lots of good points by finishing in second, third, and also fourth. And most of his finishes are within that region itself. So that is why Haas itself is able to score so much point. But I mean, his teammate is a new driver, so I mean, maybe he's getting used towards this GAF championship where he's fighting with drivers of the same caliber where they have more wheel-to-wheel action. So some drivers do require a bit more experience in terms of fighting with real-life players instead of AI drivers. So I do hope to see him continue staying for the next season itself and prove us that he's way better.
Of course, I mean, Heejin is one of the more consistent drivers here in the GF. We do in terms of the full-time drivers, consistently scoring podiums. I mean, Heejin, I don't think he has won a race before, has he? Not really sure. Yes, he has won a race before, but consistently scoring those podiums and is finishing a race, and most importantly, attending almost every single race so far here in the GF. As opposed to his teammate Gang Samson, yes, he has proved himself worthy here in the exhibition race. He scored a P3 during the exhibition race, but throughout the 7 past races so far, only finishing in 2, of which is circa non-point scoring races. 3 of them he did not attend. So already not attending 3 races. I believe the management team has a little bit of a watch on him so far, and I don't know. If you think about it, the current gap between Alpine and Haas are 25 points. So do you think Gangster Hamster, if he actually attends those remaining races, could Haas be in the running for P1 in the Constructors' Championship?
I do feel that Gamster Hamster has what it takes to be scoring in the podium position a lot more times because for his first ever race, he managed to be third
But
while
yeah,
Eugene managed to be second, which really shows that Haas has a lot more potential. So I guess the only thing, as same for other drivers, it's down to attendance.
of course. And I think that's the distinction we've covered. As we go through the middle of the season, we do notice that drivers, no matter how good the caliber is, if they do not attend races, they will not have a chance to actually prove that caliber. So, as it's in Sinpo, well, he may not be the strongest driver out there, but in that McLaren car, he just been consistently taking the effort to attend every single race, and I think that has managed to propel him up the order in the pecking order, and obviously build his team out of the dreaded last place in the constructors here, Easy Turtle.
Yes. So it really shows that attendance is very key, and you might be the fastest driver, but if you are not attending half of the race, you're unable to win the championship.
Of course, and I think well, that's what the JF has actually promoted in terms of the scoring system here, and also set up a few deterrents for drivers who just don't wish to attend and they're not really serious here. But hopefully that's not the case. But without further ado, let's look at our final team that we're going to cover tonight. That's the Alpha Romeo team, and that's made up of Chimkin and Salmonfish. Well, we may not have been talking them so much throughout the past few races. They've been pretty much under the radar. But hey, guess what? I mean, they might be running plumb last P10, but they're only 2 points off McLaren. And here we go. I'm Chinkin with a 129.362 and Salmonfish 129.9. Like, honestly, if we're looking at the timing so far, we do notice that a lot of drivers in the league, they have been selling lap times around the low 129s, like 129.2 to the high 129s and 129.9. Now, does that actually explain the presence of very tightly contested midfield throughout the qualifying sessions we had so far?
I think all this benchmark hot laps done in Bahrain really does show that the drivers for these seasons are a lot more closer together.
Of course, and Bahrain is definitely a circuit whereby it is a very balanced circuit. You need that sort of straight line speed across the long straights, the back straight, the start finish straight, as well as the one leading to the penultimate corner. And I believe that is it is a premise for us to actually understand why the drivers are so tightly packed across every single qualifying session, and even the 10th of a second can make itself be eliminated from any qualifying session as well. Well, Chimkin, 2 seasons experience in season 3 and season 4. Definitely, I believe he could go faster than 129.3. Well, he was my teammate. He was quick, but just a little bit of inconsistent there. And obviously, he had attendance issues back then, but now he's coming in more and more often. And certainly, I think it's going to be a bit of a threat to McLaren as we end up the final 4 races. Chimkin, look, we know he has pace. He's making Q3 appearances here and there about, but obviously, just not having the relative consistency to finish it. So, well, it's not only about attendance here, Easy Stussle, but I believe it's all about how do you actually run the race, and that qualifying may not be the 100% recipe in order for you to score good points in the JF.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you do compare Chicken's result versus Simple, Simple has way lesser DNF. I mean, Simple doesn't even have DNF, while Chicken himself has already 2 DNFs. So it doesn't help when you're unable to finish the race. So that's why I put a lot of emphasis on making sure you're able to proceed towards the finishing line, even though you are maybe 12th or 11th position, because you might not know, maybe the very last lap, any drivers might have crashed out and you're suddenly right in the point scoring position.
Well, obviously, tonight is going to be a bit of a, well, Easy Stussle, would you want the good news or the bad news?
Let's start with the bad news.
Now, the bad news is we only have 14 drivers today, so we're going to have a switch of a short qualifying session. The good news is we are getting ready. Drivers are readying up, and the short qualifying session is underway. 18 minutes of short qualifying here in Australia is just about to get away, and the start of a quad race, back-to-back finale of this season, is about to get started. So, any predictions for who's going to get pole here, Easy Turtle?
It's a very hard guess because I'm very sure Roshan Robot is gonna be right there fighting for the position. Takro most likely be there. The usual three, including Skipper himself. But I do see that Destil it's also playing, and he's
Uh-oh.
a driver that is very fast. So we do have to watch out for him too.
That's still replacing former full-time driver Eliakim. Eliakim, we know he's very quick. Oh, that's the has left the session. It didn't take long for me to get a commentator's curse right here, isn't it?
Maybe he have
I,
a disconnection or something. But I do hope
uh,
he faster join back.
I do hope I don't curse any more drivers. Not a very good start for me as a commentator. I don't wish to curse any drivers out of the qualifier section here, but here we go. Oh, I do not know what it says Q1. Isn't it supposed to show short qualifying here? I have no idea.
One of the Mercedes driver is out, and right now it's Sky. That is the first car that is out on track.
So driver's not really in the hurry to get out of the track. I was expecting a whole flurry of cars to get in, right? But do you think that drivers are just waiting for others to rubber in the track, owing to the track evolution here in Albert Park?
I think drivers right now are just trying to get their settings right, and maybe you would try something a bit new where they play a bit with the settings before the last few minutes where they really do properly go for their quali laps itself. I mean, look at Roshan Robot. He's putting on Inters.
I mean, Inters is a very good way in case you guys and viewers don't understand. Inters is a very good way for drivers to test the setups. And in fact, most esports drivers, even the actual F1 esports, we do have pro drivers who put on intermediate tires just to test out the setups, and that enables them not to waste or exhaust any fresh slick tires at the end of the disposal, because by using slick tires, Shimken was hitting a car as he approaches a 10.6, 10.7. Yeah, but if you use intermediate tires, you get an extra set of slick tires for use in the races, and that's going to be important, especially if the session turns out to be dry throughout. Now, easy to I do not know about you, but do you think it's going to rain later? I don't think so. It looks kind of overcast, but I don't know. It's Albert Park.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I think the weather forecast shows that won't be any rain coming anytime soon. But I mean, weather can be freaky sometimes, so you will never know.
Right. Well, let's just focus on the qualifying action for now. As it stays dry, let's look at the first driver, Sky. Sky starting his hot lap. So now he approaches turn 1, nicely lead. Oh, goes wide and invalidates his lap time, unfortunately. It's gonna be tough turn 1 here. Drivers in to pick a breaking point here. So next driver across it, Ryan. Ryan does it perfectly, does not invalidate his lap time. Sky pulls over to the side and allows Ryan through. So Ryan will be the driver to set the benchmark lap time for everyone to chase. Now, who's in front of him? It is his teammate Skipper. Skipper would try to get Ryan a little bit of a toe down the long straight. Ryan's approaching turns 5 and 6 right now. Does he do it well? A 27.3 for the first sector. Kind of okay. But now let's have a look at Ryan. Skipper didn't slow down. He didn't really give him a toe there. That's not really helpful. But Ryan continuing down, approaches a very dangerous turn 9 and 10. Decent second sector. He's sort of goes wide and invalidates his lap time. Next driver, Chimkin, does not though. So that was down to Chimkin, not Chimkin, who is not going to invalidate his lap time. He's just does it consistently. Yes, he does. He's goes on one side. 17, 14. Holds the line really nicely. Inches his way. They're in a very low speed final corner. And now pushes his way all the way to the line. Let's see his lap time. What's it going to be? It is going to be a 1:19.6. And that's why we're on the chase. Heejin definitely beats it by 1.5 seconds. A 1:18.174. Nimes goes to 1:24.2. I don't think that's kind of relevant now. More drivers about to set the lap times. Now, who's next across the line? It is going to be Sinpo on the McLaren. Already sliding through the final sector here. And now let's see what Sinpo can do. Sinpo does not do anything, but spins on the final corner. Yellow flags the secondary. Keeps it out of the barrier just in time. But Sinpo has all but been it at the final corner. Now, Brandy He now pushes final corner as the yellow rack does a 1:17.7. Brandy He goes into P3 with 1:18.568. Sinpo has to go again. He goes into the pit. But here, with only 5 timings on the board so far, here is Easy Toto, who has disconnected early and is back in the commentary booth.
Yes, so I do think that drivers still taking their own sweet time because there's still 30 minutes left in the session itself. There's no rush because this is Q1, but it is very important for them. If they do wait, they have to make sure the lap they're doing doesn't get invalidated. I mean, as you've seen just now, it's pretty easy to invalidate your lap, especially at turn 10.
Well, Ryan's going in after invalidating his lap time. Definitely the tires have not been good for, but Ryan has done a very strong middle sector. Goes P4, right behind his close friend, Brandy He. Half a cent off goes 4th fastest. Gangster Hamster right behind him. What's the lap time going to be? Gangster Hamster goes P1. 1:17.728. So what did we say about the Haas team earlier? He just needs to attend more races. A 1 and 3 for the Haas team so far. Really strong performance here for the Haas team.
Yes, definitely. It's not very easy to match lap times done by Yellowrack himself. So Gangster Hamster really showing who's boss right in front of us.
But meanwhile, we have two drivers definitely on hot lap here. Taco Mansa 1:29.8. Not the only personal best in the first sector, but Knives. Oh, that's a personal best first section. Now, definitely both drivers on the hot lap. Taco Mansa, no, is he on the cooldown lap? No, Taco Mansa's pushing. Taco Mansa, personal best second sector. So recover the time all he lost in the first sector. What about Knives? Knives will be right behind him. Also on the personal best, so keep a lookout on the Mercedes and the AlphaTauri coming out right now. So Taco Mansa, for sure, almost inverted, but we know that he has the pace, he has the composure not to do it. Taco Mensa, oh no, he pits. So he's back out of it.
Oh, he hit the
Knives!
wall!
Hit the wall, Taco hit the wall, and right behind him, Knives are fine. That's also lost in a 10-14. So both drivers has been the lap time. Taco Mensa is out of the session. Taco Mensa will not take any further part of qualifying here, Easy Turtle.
Yes, that's pretty upsetting. I'm not sure whether he accidentally applied too much throttle and ended up spinning his rear wheels, causing him to crash. But lots of drivers are spinning out, as you can see throughout this whole entire Q1 itself. So it's very important for drivers to have the proper setups to make sure they are being able to really be confident in the movement of their car.
Well, Australia is such a dangerous circuit. Let's forget it. It might not look obvious to you, but it is still a street circuit. It is a hop in the middle of the city, so you may not have a lot of runoff area to play with as well. Skipper, as a matter of fact, Skipper's not taking those limits. The significant issue for him because he's pushing. He's done an overall best second sector as well. Goes P1 at 1:17.5. Skipper to the top of the timing box. As simple as starts a new lap, so maybe you want to go on board of it and maybe take us through the lap.
Alright. I wouldn't say, Simple
Oh,
didn't
no.
hit it.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's been it. Yeah. Oh, I don't
he
know.
was doing so well. He was setting a purple sector 2, but like I said, turn 9 and 10. Yes, turn 9 and 10 isn't very easy because you have to be patient when you're applying your throttles. So I guess Simple applied too much of it and causing him to spin, and he spun again. Trying
the
to not
tires-
sure whether to enter
tires
the
are
pits or
full.
what.
Yeah, it's full. Graven's doing donuts at the final corner. I mean, yes, there's grandstand there in real life. There's grandstand here in. I mean, if you are holding walkabout tickets, you get a free donut show by Simple, but I don't think he needs any of that. He needs the time on the board. That's the most important here. Sure, if you're selling right there, you'll appreciate the McLaren donut show. And, well, unfortunately for the McLaren team, that's an sanitized waste.
And another thing that I would like to update you guys is that Dexter was setting a purple personal best sector before he invalidated his lap. So now
Keep an eye on it. He's on the mediums as well.
yeah, so he has to slowly recover back all the energy that he's used and to really go for another lap.
So what is he still doing? He has to recover those energy there. He's, in fact, just ready to recharge. He's just trying to familiarize himself with the circuit. Once again, our reserve driver here, Desio, is about to get something very stonking. Keep an eye out for him here, Easy So something is about to, he's going to set something that's going to erupt us into something really strong here. Is Desio, what do you expect? Now, take us through the lap here, Easy So let's go.
Alright, as he approaches a long finish straight, this is when you put on all the ERS, open up the DRS, going flat out throughout turn 1, and you have to make sure you don't take too much of turn 1's curve because it's very easy for you to compromise turn 2 itself. As he approaches turn 3, it's very important to brake at the right spot so that you don't have too much oversteer. And as he approaches towards the next few corners, it's very easy to dip your wheels into the grass, and he did it well enough, and where the car is very calm, listening to all his responses, and he has set a purple sector 1, oh, then there was a traffic, but I don't think it happened that much as he slowly approaches turn 9, and it's very important not to make any mistakes like other drivers when they apply too much throttle too early, and he takes the turn 10 curb so well. He didn't even unsettle the car at all. As he approaches turn 11, a 90-degree turn, it isn't easy because the car tends to want to oversteer a bit. Now, this is the part where it's very easy for you to spin the rear wheels, but he did it so nicely, and I'm very sure you will see him set a lap time that is against the top 10. Oh, and he set the pole timing in the mediums tire.
Stunning lap time now, 1:17.3, almost 2/10 quicker than anybody on the soft compound tires. Well, I don't know. I believe every viewer is stunned. Everyone is shocked. It's like, nah, it is going to be short qualifying session. It's not going to be a full quali. I'm just going to set my time on the medium compound tires and still beat the hell out of everybody. Pardon my language there, but I don't know. I don't even think Max Verstappen can do it in real life.
I mean, if you do look at his lap throughout the whole entire sector 1, 2, and 3, his car was so planted, it never unsettled at all. He's able to attack the curbs so aggressively, and the car just so calm. It's as if he has come one with the car itself.
Of course, I've never seen any driver who has been that confident on the throttle, all with the car as well. This is something which I've never seen before. It's impeccable. I don't know if anybody's going to find the lap time, but do you think anyone's going to find it? I don't think so here. Do you think pretty bad? Do you think anybody's going to find in the lap time?
I don't think anyone would try to fight his lap time in Q1 because people are thinking for the long-term strategy, because if they do try to fight for a better lap time they set right now, they're gonna compromise their Q2 and Q3 time.
Well, first driver there, Skipper, definitely. Oh no, Skipper's pitting. He's not gonna improve on that. But now, let's see if anybody's trying to improve that. Is Sinpo as well. Sinpo, well, he's the only driver left not to set a time on the board, along with Roshan Robo right behind him. What can Sinpo do? Pretty decent at times for Sinpo, but his so slippery setup here. What's the time going to be? It's going to be a 1 minute 20.2. I see it racing on to P10. Roshan pits as well. Roshan's at the back. So Taco Mansa, unfortunately, has been relegated all the way back. Taco Mansa will start first in the best. Oh, Sinpo gets in the wheel. That's Seal. Do you see that?
Oh, I wasn't able to see because I was watching Yellow Rag trying to set a lap time. I do wonder, will he be able to challenge the time set by Destil?
Destil has backed off as well. He's in the McLaren True, but undeniably that could be a complaint from our current pole sitter against Sinpo. Sinpo has clocked enough penalty points over the past few races. Now, I'm not sure about the GF rulebook, but do you think impeding would be justification that they get enough penalty points for a race ban here, Easy Tezo?
As you say that, Yellow Rag sort of messed up his last sector where he went into the gravel itself. And I do think that, especially in qualifying, impeding can be very damaging to the drivers that is setting their fastest lap. And having a penalty point system is very important because it makes sure drivers does become more aware of what they are doing and not really impede others, maybe unintentionally and sometimes maybe even intentionally trying to protect their position itself.
Of course, you really need to be careful with traffic management here. It is a skill. You can be the fastest driver here, but if you're not, you're going to fall off all the routes. The race control is going to be after you. And one driver here, who's enjoying the track all to himself, Sky. Personal best sector 1, he's running in P7 right now. And Brandy here, as we're speaking, he's got a bit closer to the front runners, 1:17.827. A little bit slidey there on the setup for Sky, just like Sinpo. But I think that's cost him in sector 2 as well. So that slidey setup, catching drivers off guard here. I think there's a bit of a wind blowing right here, and Chimkin is retired from the session. No, he's hit the wall. Chimkin's hit the wall. He's hit the wall, I think. Yes, at around 10-2. Yes, he's lost the car there. He's pulled over, and Chimkin has he's retired. He just chose to not take any further part in qualifying here. Easy says all day. Now, do you think there's a problem with the car or something else?
I think he's just he feels that with the current lap time he set, it's good enough for him to go through to Q2 itself, and he doesn't really want to waste any more time
No,
or
there's
energy.
there's no Q2. There's no Q2 here.
Oh, but I mean, even though there's no Q2, but I'm sure he's just done with this, and maybe he doesn't feel that there's no need to waste any more of his time or energy, because he might not be improving anymore.
Run to the wall! Run to the wall! Run to the wall at 10-10. I told you it's dangerous. The front wing is gone off the Williams. Yes, he's done with it as well. He's done. So, drivers just getting a bit of a issue with that turn 9 and 10. It's so dangerous, especially if we have a slidey setup, and we already have a few victims there. Easy settle. Randy He, now on the hot lap, is the next to approach that section. Well, Randy He, obviously a more poised driver here. Personal best in 1, personal best in 2, and Randy He's lost it. He's lost it again. And none of the drivers, oh no.
One thing I can tell is that drivers that are spinning out at turn 10.
Oh, be careful, Randy here. Just get past from another driver, and thankfully that's ghosting. But drama here in Australia here, Easy says so.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know. If you're going to see that many drivers already being caught off guard by that dangerous 9-10, I don't know. I think the race is going to be a very interesting one here. Well, let's look at next driver, Theo. Theo's now approaching 10s 9 and 10. And Theo does it perfectly. Well, I don't know about you, Easy Tuzzle, but I believe that it is going to be a race of high attrition. More drivers are going to retire from the session, but any predictions here for the race, Easy Tuzzle?
I would say that still have a very high chance of winning the race himself. I mean, he's setting the fastest lap in the medium tires.
Oh, it's done again.
And he improves so much more. And you can't imagine what lap time he would set in the soft tire. So that still has the highest chance of winning the race itself. And I won't be surprised if he's able to win the race with like 20-second margins.
Simple as the previous time. It's 120 flat, stays P11. But now I think the driver we all want to look out for, Roshan Robot. Well, we haven't talked about him so far. He's run down last, but let's see if he's about to beat Destiel's lap time. Can he dethrone him? No, not quite. Goes P3, but 4 1,000s behind Skipper. So Destiel still, a quarter of a second faster than the entire competition here. But I'm starting to believe that this is going to be a very one-sided competition here in Easy Senso.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as that still doesn't make any mistakes, I'm sure he's gonna just fly past, and it will be so hard for drivers to catch up to him. But I mean, in GAF, there's nothing that is for sure, so you will never know what would happen to anyone throughout this race itself.
Of course, but what we've seen here is a very, very spread out grid here. We do have all 14 drivers separated with 12 seconds, and for a short street circuit, well, I can't believe it. I think turns 9, 10, that fast chicane is a difference. It's going to be a difference of who is going to start first and who's going to start right behind. I think they're going to be a massive factor in the race. And definitely, we're going to see safety cars. We're going to see even potential red flags being caused by that very fast left and right-hander here, Easy Turtle.
Yeah, and it's very important for drivers to not to take too much curbs. especially for turn 10, because if they do take too much of it, the car will tend to understeer and hit the gravel trap, and it's very easy for drivers to just spin out.
And the lobby's kind of ruined a little bit. Someone has advanced, and I believe, but race control isn't happy with that. And they're threatening to start awarding penalty points for drivers who advance. And yeah, I don't know about you, Easy. So you were once a driver. What do you think about it? I believe it's kind of disruptive, don't you think?
I think it can be quite disruptive, but the thing is that sometimes us as gamers, we are very used to just straight away pressing the advance button right away after we see the loading screen. So I mean, there's a total of 14 drivers, and I'm sure there will be bound to one drivers making that mistake. So I'm not surprised that it does happen very often.
Of course. Meanwhile, I believe while they sort out those issues, settings for time for us to go for a quick break. Soon, a few minutes time. And for those of you who have not taken a drink or something, maybe grab a can of Coke, grab a can of Pepsi or something, because I can assure you this is going to be a very exciting race for us all ahead. Stay tuned and don't go anybody.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GF here. Right now, we are just gonna host our post-qualifying show. Alongside me is Easy Turtle. Welcome back to the stream here uh, for the Australian Grand Prix. So I don't think. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, here it is. Easy. So just give me a cup of coffee, and he's right here back with us.
Yes.
And once again, yes, Sinpo. Once again, saying hello on the stream. Yes, hello, Sinpo. And one of our drivers, forget it, one of our 14 drivers with us today. And certainly really excited to join us here on the stream. And we can tell Sinpo, obviously, we all know his enthusiasm. He's so excited to be here in the JF. Well, and that only explains why he's the most seasoned driver in the GF. The only driver here to participate in all 6 seasons so far. And so far, I think he's one of the best attendances in terms of in terms of how often he has been coming to races and how often he's been driving here. And I tell you what, if there's a long service award for GF, I think Simple deserves that, don't you think?
Definitely, he's been in GF itself. Might not sure whether he's been here since season one, but he has been in GF for a very consistent set amount of seasons. So he can be called the veteran for this GAF championship.
Of course. Well, Simple, definitely one of our most seasoned drivers, and obviously the only place who will not season him, unfortunately, would be well the championship standings so far, which are about to show up on the screen. Let's look at our current championship standings on the board right now. So far, the constructors champion, as what we mentioned, we do have Alpine leading the way with 152 points, and of Williams with 127, Haas with 107, Mercedes with 104. So already 4 teams reaching the 100-point mark. Then we have a very tightly contested midfield here with Red Bull with 63, AlphaTauri in 6th with 60, Ferrari 41, Aston Martin with 34, McLaren Alfa Romeo with 14 and 12. So easy to talk. What I see here is that we do have lots of hits right here as we move into round 8. We have Red Bull versus AlphaTauri, Ferrari versus Aston Martin, and McLaren Alfa Romeo. So already 3 direct head-to-head battles in the Constructors' Championship for tonight in Australia.
Yes, with as you can see in qualifying itself, it's very easy to make mistakes. So it's very crucial for the drivers to not make mistakes because any mistake can affect their teams, the constructor position itself, because everyone is so closely packed with against one another. So it's very important for them to be consistent, but also keep it clean.
Trust me, I think it is gonna be like Formula E, whereby we have like one driver against another, and don't forget, Haas and Mercedes is also 3 points apart as well. And if you're looking at this, if you're Aston Martin, you'll be really happy knowing that both Ferrari drivers are not participating this evening, with both SST and Annick being absent. So I believe this presents really good opportunities for some teams further down the field to actually catch up, owing to those absent drivers. So I believe this is going to be really exciting, provided they don't make any mistakes as well. So what I think is that we're going to see some drivers play really conservative as we move on to the race. Now, having a look at the Drivers' Championship right now, we do have Roshan Robot with a whopping 127 points. Honestly, if he was Williams, well, he'll be carrying the entire Williams team on his shoulders right now. It's 127 points and already more than race win away from Heejun with 91. Now, Easy says, well, I don't think we've seen any lead in the GF this big before.
I'm not very sure with the other seasons itself because I don't keep track with it. But yes, it's a very good for him to have almost like a one full racing 25 points ahead compared to the second position driver. So it sort of allows him to have a bit more of a breather. He's able, if he does make any mistakes and causes him to crash out of the race, it doesn't hurt him as much.
Of course, I mean Rashawn Robot. He has his races buffer, but obviously he would really want to like gain a gap of Heejin as far as possible. But Heejin, well, he has to play a bit defensive right here because he does have Skipper of 82 points and Techromancer of 81 right on his neck right there. So if you're a Heejin, I believe if a P5 is selling position, I think he would really want to play a little bit more conservatively this evening. Uh, Obviously, we do have a little bit of a tightly contested midfield here. We do have SS38 in P7, who is not here today. So you have the likes of Brandy He, Magazine, Sky, Ryan, Teal, and Sinpo. So all these drivers, well, all the way from P7 all the way down to P13, 14, Chicken Gemsamsa in with just 12 points. You do have 9 drivers contesting over 7th place in the midfield. So easiest as all, I believe, like if any one of the front runners make a mistake, someone in the midfield will jump from the bottom all the way to the top. Or if it's talking about Brandy, if he manages to win this race, he's gonna break out the midfield and try to contest for the top scoring positions here.
Yeah, and Australia itself, it's very hard because it might look very simple in terms of the track layout, but it requires lots of skills to do it right. Because if you make any mistakes, you can end up on a gravel trap very easily because the gravel trap is directly next to the curb itself. So you will never know what other chances it might give for the drivers because you might never know. You might see Simple fighting for podium positions at the last few laps because it's very easy to make any mistakes for this race. So it's very important for drivers to really uh, be more consistent.
Of course, I mean it's a very dangerous track. As we saw earlier, we did see a few drivers go off at the very fast left and right-hander, 10s, 9, 10. Simple said, we shall see. Well, indeed, what we shall see earlier is one driver who managed to nailed it. If we have a handicap in hand, then that's our current poster here. Being a reserve driver, that doesn't mean he's any pushover. Let's have a look at Dastiel's lap time, which is set on the medium compound tires. And he's managed to even douse the competition, even on the harder compound tire, which is rightfully slower. He's defied all odds and go quickest in that medium compound tire. So that's really amazing from him. Let's have a look at Dastiel's hot lap right now. Let's bring it up on screen. You can see it now. A little bit of a, I guess we have a bit of a technical issue here. So, fortunately, there we go. Daciel, look at our medium compound tires. We know that he will not have the grip that's required of him. But SLC negotiates turn 1. Oh, that's pretty much on the. This negotiates is really accurately. And we know turn 1 is a place whereby drivers just exceeds a bit of track limits, and that's when they lose their lap time. Notice how he just controls the car perfectly. He's not using all of the curbs, but he's using curbs selectively. He's not using all of them, but just manages to places the car at very, very precise parts of the circuit, so he doesn't lose time. He's really optimized there. Using backmark, he's using traffic as a form of using a slipstream along the straight. This positioning his car at places down. Watch how he goes through turns 9 and 10. Oh, the left-hander doesn't touch the curb at all. He knows how dangerous it is, but he uses all the curb when using turn 10 and not inverting his lap time. So look at Daciel there. I think that's the reason why he has that kind of credentials. That's the reason why he's Daciel in the first place. And even through the final part of the circuit, you know that, yes, you may use the curbs, but very selectively. He knows what curbs to use. It is a driver. He is a driver that we know has practiced time and time again. Easy does it.
Yep, as you can see how he negotiate through turn 10, it really shows that he's able to control his car very well. It might be down to the setup he has or maybe his throttle control because throughout the whole entire qualifying, I have seen other drivers trying to replicate the same technique he does for turn 10 and not a lot of them came through successful.
Of course, and there's a lot of control being set right there. And, well, of course, I think that's a bigger question. or as what Simple has said, we shall see. And I guess like we shall see what's gonna happen now as drivers just about to get ready for the race. Now, any predictions here? Easy Sato, do you think there's gonna be a bit of a disruption here? By lots of other drivers um behind Destiel? Do you think Destiel's race win is gonna get disrupted?
I think it's gonna be very hard because Destel is able to outpace all the drivers on the medium itself. So it's gonna be the ball's gonna be on his court for him to lose the whole entire race because he has the most potential to be the winner for this Grand Prix. But there are drivers right at the back, such as Roshan Robot, being able to really bang in good lap times. So, and another driver starting all the way from the back is Takro. As we know it, he's a very fast driver, so we are able to gonna see him set out one of the best laps.
And I think Joe's already setting out there, and it's a mess on the field. No warm-up laps here in the GF, and sorry to interrupt you there, but Destel has been jumped by Skipper and Roshan Robot there. Yeah, right, but I think it's already yellow flags. Heejin's off the track. Turn 1 already claiming a few victims there. I see front wings all over the place, but what the big news is, Destel has got jumped. The mystery is uncovered, and Destiel has not got a good set off the line, and it's going to be jumped not by one, but two cars here. Easy Sazo.
Yeah, and it might be down to him being starting on the I'm not sure what tire he started the race
So,
on.
if you have prediction, I think it's starting on the Hearts, I think. Yes, he's on the Hearts, and that's why the Hearts are not an easy tire to get warm up here. Let's forget, because there's no warm-up lap here in the GF, he will not get the opportunity to do so, and those on the mediums have jumped him. Oh, Roshan Robot goes really wide to turn 10. He's definitely going to get a warning for track limits there, but Destiel will have to get those tires warm up, although he's still over the back of Roshan Robot now. And look at the sky, it's overcast. These hard tires are definitely not one to be on, if I'll ask you in a moment.
Yeah, but he is able to keep on pace with Roshan Robot. He's directly right behind Roshan's Robot gearbox, and within few laps he does have the DRS to beat him.
Of course. One tire that you're not, one tire that, sorry, based on strategies, well, the only driver who's already on the prime strategy is Chimkin, who's up to 6th place. Well, but if you're on the mediums, you're putting on the hard tires, somewhere in the middle of the race, say about lap 12, lap 13, but still, well, hard tires will be an alternate strategy here. We only have three drivers on the hard tires. Sinpo and Nimes are fine. Are the only pitters here. I believe they must have some front wing damage or something, but they are pitting, so they definitely must have got tangled with Heejin right at the start of the race, and that's why we saw some front wings flying off. But meanwhile, they kept on the front, but half a second between Skipper and Roshan Robot. Destel close behind as well. It's definitely going to be a very tightly contested top 3 right here.
Yeah, and another driver that had one of the best start is Takro, being able to start on the hards. He's gained about 7 positions.
Sorry to interrupt you, but that's really quick for a penalty there. Sinpo has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings within the space of 2 laps. So, well, this race, this track especially, we've not mentioned it so far, is not only punishing those of the curbs and the runoff areas, but also the penalties. It's so easy, as what we saw during the start of the qualifying session earlier, where the tracks not rubber in. It's so easy to get a penalty here. And I believe the only thing that's harder right now, DRS enable, Roshan Robot has a harder challenge to handle now, but the likes of Destiel right behind him. He has lost Skipper. Skipper has pulled off again for over a second over Roshan Robot now, and Destiel is now over the back of Roshan Robot, and I believe through this long straight, Destiel, with that tires warm up, he should be able to get past Roshan Robot, but now on the straight, come, let's look at it. Can he get past Roshan Robot before the dangerous turns 9-10? What kind of overtaking moves are we going to see here? Round the outside he goes. Destiel, there's no contest for championship leader Roshan Robot. Not even a championship leader can fight Destiel. Destiel's now in pursuit of the Skipper. Now the question right now to you is easy. Do you think Skipper is able to defend against Destiel? when he does.
I think it will be quite hard for Skipper to defend because, I mean, they're still just overtook Russian Robot and he's right behind Skipper already. So I'm very sure within 2 more laps, he's gonna be right behind Skipper's gearbox. So it's someone that we should watch out for, and he has set the fastest lap for the current race at a 120. I'm not sure what's the lap time, but he's on the hard tires and he's going way faster compared to Skipper.
No, I don't think so. He's still losing time to Skipper still. So Roshan Robot obviously having pro. Yeah, he's lost. Roshan Robot's lost it at turn 4, and I think Roshan Robot's not having a best of races. But Brandy Keys over the back of him. So big mistake there, Roshan Robot. And Australia is a track which compromises all your exits if you don't do it properly. And there it is, Roshan Robot now on the clutches of Brandy Key. He's lost over 2 seconds. So that's still there. Brandy Key is over the back of him. Oh, tries to make a move, Brandy Key. That's not. And turns 9-10 still belongs to Roshan Robot. But Brandy Key over the back of Roshan Robot now. It's also bringing Sky with him. So this should be a battle for P3. Roshan Robot, our championship leader, in trouble. Well, what can we say about Australia here? But Albert Park always causes issues for a championship leader now. Now, if you do remember, even in real life Formula 1, Max Verstappen having his engine issue right here, and now Roshan Robot having problems with a very, very poor racecraft here, and is now at the tail end of the podium already here, Easy Sezzle.
Yeah, it isn't easy to get these tires working right away, but it's very crucial for the drivers to be able to control their cars, especially when there's a sudden kick of understeer. So it really tests the driver's capability of handling the car.
And momentarily, we had a yellow flag in sector 1, not sure what else about. Oh, it's Ryan. It's Ryan with a broken front wing. He must have lost it in turn 1. Ryan with a broken front wing. So, oh no, I don't know if he's made a pit stop yet, but Ryan, that explains why he's in P12, but it's a long way to get back to the pits right here. We'll keep you updated with the Williams driver, but now we go back on board with a battle between Roshan, Brandy, and Sky, which I think is going to be our highlight for the race. Roshan Robot putting up a lot less sort of defense against the Aston Martin and the Mercedes driver right behind. And I believe Brandy, he must have made a bit of a mistake because Sky's over the back of him. And I don't know what's going to happen here, but these two drivers are really experienced. They have great racecraft, and I think like it's not going to be a matter of time before we see some moves here. Or do you think, oh, Destiel's got a penalty? Sorry to interrupt, but yes, Destiel's got a penalty here. And what can we prove here is that even the best of drivers are not immune to penalties here, Easy Tesso.
Yep, and suddenly Sky managed to overtake Brandy. When Brandy suddenly had a snap of his rear tire snapped him out, and he had to really counter steer that, which causes him to lose a lot of time towards Sky. And now Sky is right behind Roshan Robot.
Still, Roshan Robot leading this train of cars all the way. Brendan, he's trying to get back at Sky right here. Let's go through turn 9-10. Taco Ransomir's got past Chipkin, even though he's on harder tires right behind. But now, Brendan, he was here trying to get back at Sky. I don't know if he can get past this one, but no. Sky with the benefit of the DRS of Roshan Robot. Stays behind it, but it's going to be a bit of a battle right here. And Brendan, I think he makes a mistake again. Brendan, he must have damaged his tires there in such a way whereby he is not able to get a benefit there. But meanwhile, so far, if you look back towards the field, all pretty evenly spread out. But this is about to watch for the final spot on the podium. It's going to be Roshan Robot versus Sky versus Randy Key. If you're trying to get updated and put a gap in front, Destiel has decided not to chase Skipper. He's staying behind Skipper. The gap maintains at 1.3. Now, Easy says, let me ask you, do you think it is? Oh, Destiel's got another tree skip penalty. That's 6 seconds now.
I think Destiel is struggling a bit with his tires. He's trying to maximize all the whole entire track, and this might be causing him to have a lot of corner cutting warning, which resulted in him having a total of 6 seconds penalty. It isn't really helping Destil, but it's helping Skipper a lot more because Skipper just had to make sure that he keeps on setting whatever current pace he has right now because it's doing great. Destil is struggling trying to keep up with him, causing him to keep exceeding the track limits and resulting in him having more penalty time penalty.
Wow, that's still really 6 seconds across 7 laps. If the race ends as it is right now, he's going to be placed right behind Brandy. He's behind this battle between the 3 cars right here. So just still really need to be careful here. But one more thing, I'm not sure if the hard tires are the correct tires to be on right now because, well, it's so cold out here without the sun out. The track temperature is low, so it's not going to be a very good track for the hard tires. But what I think he's doing now is just staying behind Skipper, not getting the high temperatures behind the Williams in front of him. But he believes that the hard tires will come to him later when the medium tires wear out. So do you think Destil could be trying to go over half race distance on those hard compound tires?
Destil might even try doing a one-stop strategy to try to do a different strategy compared to the other drivers, but with his current 6-second penalty, it isn't really helping him. But another driver to look out for is Tekro because he started P14 and right now he's P6, and if I'm right, he's slowly catching up towards Brandy He and Sky and Roshan Robot.
Just speaking, Heejin's got past. He's got past Yellow Rank as it happens, but they're going side by side. Yellow Rank and Heejin. Oh, side by side now! Oh no! Yellow Rank spins and runs in front of Heejin. There's yellow flag in sector 3. Yellow Rank is. I'm not sure he's got throwing damage here, but they were going side by side in the 10-14. Yellow Rank recovers and the car is back on track. But they were going side by side. Yes, I think he's throwing damage. He's going to pit right away. But I'm not surprised if he's going to complain about Heejin, and this is definitely going to be noted under the race stewards because they've been going side by side in the 10-14. Hard Tire's going for Yellow right now, but that was close, and one driver lost over there, and it's a case of 2 drivers going to 1, and there's simply no space. What do you think about this, Easy Seto?
I might say it might be a racing incident because Heejin did left Yellow Rank some space towards the inside of the track, and Yellow Rank might have a bit of understeer that resulted to banging into Heejin's side pod, which causes him to spin.
Meanwhile, we're gonna have a little bit of deja vu here, and this time between Sky and Roshan Robot. Sky's managed to get past Roshan Robot through the long DRS area, and now Roshan Robot certainly wants to recover from that. Sky on the same strategy with Roshan Robot. Brandy, he's lost pace there, is 1.5 seconds behind this pack. Now as we look, Skipper and Destil in front. Roshan Robot now is going to be Roshan Robot with DRS and Destil. Another 3-second time penalty for him. For a total of 9 seconds now here. I don't want to say, but I believe those behind him. But with the likes of Sky and Roshan Robot, they are getting motivated with Destil's penalties because they know that there's an opportunity of a P2 waiting for them, and they are definitely going to fight for it because they know this opposite. The treasure is all there for them to take. Sky could be in for net P2 here, Roshan Robot in net P3, and Brandy He, even net P4s. So Destil's going to pick up the pace right now, I think. But let's have a look here. Roshan Robot over the back of Sky. Oh, they're going to go side by side in the turn 9, are they? Oh, I think side by side. No, Roshan Robot goes past Sky. I think takes the better of it. And now, I think that's it for now. But look at Destil. He's closing in on Skipper already. Destil and Skipper is going to be a fight for a lead. I think Destil knows the urgency here. He can't afford to be behind Skipper because his penalties are there to block him down. He needs to get past Skipper ASAP, but no, he's lost it. He's lost the pace there. I think a very poor exit out of turn 16 has cost him. So, unfortunately for him, he's going to stay behind Destil. He's going to stay behind Skipper for the time being. not quite. We don't see that battle materializing. As it stands, two different battles here for our top four.
Yep, it is. Oh, Skipper made a
Oh!
mistake. Skipper has
Oh!
lost the lead.
Oh, and he's got a penalty for that as well. He's got a penalty for. No way. So Skipper, he made a mistake, and Destiel's inherited lead again. And now, Roshan Robot. Well, he's going to bring Roshan Robot and Sky back into play here because Skipper has a penalty. So Destiel, wow, he's in clear air. Let's see what he can do in clear air here. Easy says it.
Yep, I'm sure, very sure that Destiel's trying to set as much.
We have a battle here. We have a battle here. Sorry to interrupt. Teal and Chimkin. Teal and Chimkin, all of a sudden the same voice call right now. As we're speaking, they're all racing together. I don't know what words they're going to be saying when they end up in an incident, but Teal gets past cleanly. Chimkin, let's realize some true. And we are on the way. But easy, so yeah, you were saying.
Yep, so right now Destiel's main focus is to go set in as much good lap time as possible, not make any mistake and not add on any more time penalty towards the current, I think, 9-second penalty he has right now.
Oh, Chimkin's fun! Chimkin is fun at turn 15. And oh, the soft tires are already 10 laps out. They're not going to do him any justice. Goes in the pit. The cars all around him. You got to be careful. I'm not sure if that was an unsaid rejoin, but he's going to pit right now. What tires is going to be on? Let's have a look at Chimkin as he comes into the pits. It's going to be on the hard compound tires. So, time to warm it up. Time to get going in. Well, so we know the limits of the soft tires are 10 laps. Now, what about those in front? Roshan Robot and Sky still in the top right here. Sky, well, even DRS is not, he's not making impression on Roshan Robot so far. So, well, I don't know about you, but I think the medium tires are going to go off very soon as well. That's my opinion.
I think Skipper is able to have the capability to keep the medium tire to survive as long as possible, because I think in the previous few races he was able to demonstrate that skill he has to conserve the tires. But that still isn't really setting blistering lap times, creating a gap between him and Skipper. Because if in order for him to keep his current winning position, he has to at least set a 9 seconds gap difference between him and Skipper. But currently,
Skipper has 3-second penalty. I think 6 seconds to do. I think, well, I think his bigger worry is Roshan Robot in P3 because he has no penalties.
Yep. So currently, Roshan Robot is the current net P1. And maybe Sky might be even going for P2 itself.
Oh, the whole outlook of the game of the race has changed so much right now. We didn't even expect Roshan Robot and Sky to be in the running. Obviously, Roshan Robot's bad start, but just by staying out of trouble here, Roshan Robot, he's now in running for the race lead. And I think Roshan Robot really would like to just pull Sky in, but they don't have him past him. But I believe what they should do now for these two drivers, I think Sky and Roshan Robot would be an opportunity to work together as a team right now to actually, well, fight against. What happened to Destiel? Destiel's made a mistake somewhere and the gap's down 1.4. Yeah, so yeah, Roshan Robot would probably really want to work together with his rival, Sky, right behind him, to actually inherit the race win for 1-2. Now, if you do you remember Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris back in Singapore last year? Same thing.
Yep. So it's very important for the drivers to really pick their fights and really have the battle very wisely, because they don't want to lose any lap times to one another and have a
we have a Haas. I think Gangster Hamster now is pitting. Sorry, we had a yellow flag earlier. Yeah. It's all resolved now. Yeah, you're saying easy setup.
Yeah, and if you do look at the lap times Tekro is setting, he's slowly catching up towards Brandy He, and Tekro is just doing a wonderful thing in his Mercedes right now with his teammate Sky right at the winning positions. So I do hope Checo is able to get into the podium position with his current pace he's setting on the hard tires.
Looking back at Sky and Rashawn Robot, they've gone past again. And what I did see was Rashawn Robot didn't even put up a fight against Sky. He has it. Oh, there's a
Oh,
car
that's-
one there. Oh, that's Nimes. That's Nimes.
Nimes.
Yeah. So yeah. I think he's got into the gravel a little bit. Sky's got a penalty. Fight. Yeah. Oh, Sky's side of the pit. But then I think Sky's also pitting at the same time as the lap car. Then that's distracted him as well. So that has caused Sky to get a 5-second time penalty. And that's definitely going to affect his race. So I'm not sure if that's going up to the stewards there. But that distraction has caused Sky that penalty. I'm certain that the battle between himself and Rashawn Robot is completely over due to the penalty he's got. Well, disappointment there. As we look at a battle between Tailspin. The Tailspin? Yes, Tail is spun. And yeah, Tail is spun as we're saying. So drama starting to unfold, and there's more drama in Sector 1. We do have a Haas Shimkin, I think, spinning in, so easy. So I think the race is gonna get more dramatic if the tires starting to wear out.
Yeah, and right now I do hope I don't give any commentator curse, but the only current driver that is having a wonderful Grand Prix right now is Tacro.
And on to that Rashawn Robot as well. Rashawn has no penalties, just, well, he has a bad start. Sure, that's the only drama that's happening to him so far, but still, he's in that P1 with all the penalties. Now, I do not want to give any commentators curse as well. Easy says so, but you know what we're lacking so far? A safety car.
It's gonna be
Oh, did I curse it again? Because we have a DNF and the car's stuck at turn 10. I did not curse anything, okay? The car, no, the engine's still running, so I think it's a voluntary pit stop, but more drivers are pitting. I think they're all anticipating a safety car, but nope, there isn't. Yeah, so we're still lacking a safety car here, as he says so.
Yeah, but one thing that I'm quite surprised is that Checo has pitted for the medium tires.
And we have Rashawn Robot and Sky. Sky, I think he was trying to get past Rashawn Robot, and now they're going side by side. Sky tried to undercut Rashawn Robot, but Rashawn Robot was still in front of him. But now, Sky with that warmer hard tires, he's gonna try to get past Rashawn Robot again. Is anything gonna happen yet? It's really aggressive now. He knows he has to get past him to eliminate the penalty. He does get past. Yeah, he just manages that. It was an aggressive overtake. And I think Sky would really want to get it going again because he knows what's at stake. Rashawn Robot, same idea. He wants to get past Sky again. Does not manage to. And still, these two continue to battle throughout. The question now is, when will one of them break? Now, oh, look at that. Sky made a mistake. Sky's feeling really angry after the penalty there, but he can't afford to get too angry because his composure is getting affected. Rashawn Robot, now we've been acted, I think he's gonna get closer and closer and trying to close down Sky again. The question is, when will the wheels stop and when will one of them break? Now, look at this gap between them. We were trying to focus on them as the gap between them was like about 8 tenths. The gap between them is now just over 2 tenths. And I think this will be a battle that we'll be talking about throughout all the way to the final lap here, Easy says so.
Yep, and Skipper and Destil have yet to pitted. While Skipper is on the mediums, being able to keep intact with Destil. So I'm pretty sure Skipper's tires are pretty worn out compared to Destil. So Skipper is really showing that he has the capability to conserve his tire as much as possible and without losing much pace.
Well, Skipper must be praying that Sky and Rashawn Robot continue to fight because all this is helping Skipper to actually build that all the way from him. He's not pitting, has he? Yeah, Skipper's still not pitting. 70 lap old tires now. But
yeah, and with drivers making so many mistakes and exceeding the track limit, I won't be surprised if suddenly there's a safety car out. So Skipper and Destil might be praying that there might be such instances happening so that they can have they have a cheap, I would say like a cheap penalty, cheap,
pit
what's the
stop.
word? Pit stop, yes.
Oh, Tachomancer with the fastest lap of the race as well. So we have not only a battle for third, but we do have a battle for fifth as well. So keep an eye on that. But now Roshan is really fighting against Sky now, as is Tachomancer and Brandy Heat. So we have two battles on our hands right now. Keep an eye on anything can happen right here. Meanwhile, indeed the gap between Skipper and Sky, well, is still 21 seconds after 3 laps. So all this battling between these drivers is really helping Skipper and Destiel build a gap. Look at that. So now Roshan Robot on the offensive. Sky tries to close the door, but no, it's too late. Roshan Robot goes through with that DRS. Same as for Tachomancer and Brandy Heat. Same location, same place, and the doors get shut. Both battles, we do have driver switching positions. And that's it. It's now Roshan Robot ahead of Sky. Tachomancer held Brandy Heat. Skipper now decides to time the pit. And let's see where he emerges relative to the pack. Where will Skipper emerge? You have a 20-second buffer here. 70 lap old medium tires. They are one. He's now going. Oh, soft compound tires here. Easy says it.
Yeah, I do hope that he won't struggle too much at the final few laps, but I mean, Skipper has demonstrated he has the capability to not wear out his tire as fast as compared to his competitors.
And there's perfect time as well. He's come out 1.5 seconds in front of Roshan Robot. So Roshan is not going to get any sort of benefit from Skipper as well. Well, it's a soft tail penalty as well, so it's already one more. Look at that. He's already starting to build a gap against Roshan Robot. So no harm done. It's a very perfect time pit stop by Williams. Well, I think that's perfect strategy there. Now the question is, with those soft compound tires, when will Destiel start to blink? Because now the question now is Destiel. Oh, look at that, the twiddle right there. He's 18 lap old hot tires, and that's not going to do him any good here. So Destiel, no, he's still not pitting. Oh, he's pitting. Wow.
So the current Tacho made a bit of a mistake. So the current lap time, the fastest lap time to beat is 1:20.364. So I'm very sure either Skipper or Destiel will be trying to beat that timing on the soft tires.
So smooth there from Destiel. Destiel will be coming out. Still penalty boots, so he's also on the soft tires. The gap between himself and Skipper though, 3.5 seconds. So now, well, 3.5 seconds against Skipper it is, but 5.5 seconds to his Roshan Robot. So he has about 3.5 seconds to build against, the two McLaren stopping positions. Yeah, but he has 3.5 seconds to build against Roshan Robot in order to win this race. And of course, not make any further penalties there. So,
yeah.
But meanwhile, back onto the Mercedes overtaking each other. Do you think there could be some team orders there?
I do feel that Tacho does have much more pace compared to Sky right now, especially with Tacho on the medium tires. Because I do feel that Tacho does have the potential to actually win the race itself, because he currently has no penalty, time penalty towards his name, and he's slowly catching up towards Roshan Robot.
Oh, there's one driver, there's a plus shot, and that's Teal and Chimkin. Teal and Chimkin now making a move. This time it's like 10, 9, 10. Now, who's going to make a move? Teal. Oh, they made the pass again. These two. Well, we haven't been talking about the midfield so much this race, but the midfield looks particularly exciting as well. Look at that. Teal and Chimkin. Well, they're fighting each other, and now Teal's got past on the fresh medium tires. Now, what's happening further ahead is Heejin catching yellow right. Well, Heejin on fresher new hard tires. Now with the tire differentials in play, I believe this is going to be a massive factor. There's just on the pace differentials here. Look at that. Heejin over the back of Yellow Rack. Now on the start for the straight. Heejin surely on those hot tires. He's definitely going to get past Yellow Rack, and he does. Heejin is up into 7th place. So, I think Yellow Rack, he's Yellow Rack's on the fire. Follow him. Yellow Rack, get exit. He's going to down the inside. Takes bit of it. And he stays right behind so far. But I think Yellow Rack, he does have pace. And I think he should be able to get past Heejin if Heejin somehow makes a mistake. No, not quite. Still kind of close there. Get so 4/10 of a second, 5/10. Well,
he might be able to do it with the DRS coming soon.
He is. 3/10. He's gonna try and move around the outside. It'd be really great if he does it. No, not quite. But now Heejin, with that traction, he's definitely gonna extend it. But really, really great pace from Yellowrack, even though he's on 12 level hard tires. As Destiel, that's the fastest lap of the race. 119 flat. We'll keep your eye on Brandy Key as well. Brandy Keys over the back of Sky. We were talking about Brandy Keys showing a very offensive shit. Brandy Key and Sky make contact. Wilbank return two, and Brandy Key stays behind for now. But look at that, Brandy Key now down the inside. He's on the inside line. Barges way past it. Oh no, well, just very, very aggressive there. By Brandy Key, just sliding a little bit. But that was a bit naughty by Sky, don't you think? I believe that Guy somehow closes on Brandy Key there.
Yeah, I was quite surprised that Sky was able to continue on towards turn 3 and be right in front of Brandy He. But Brandy He put up a good fight, and thankfully he was able to control the car and not lose it.
Oh, he's got past now. There we go. So Brandy He is up to P5. What about... Oh, Heejin's not managed to shake off Yellowracked. They're still going alongside. Yellowrack's having a bit of a DRS. As we have a bit of Gang Stamps. So there's a little bit of a problem in Sector 1. Yellowrack still stays behind Heejin for now.
With this
But
continuous...
no. Oh, I think Heejin's got a little bit out of shape out of turn 10. And that's allowed Yellowrack to inherit P7 right now. So do you think Heejin made a mistake there?
It's hard to say, but both of them aren't having a lot more DRS. But ERS, but Yellowray does have more ERS compared to Heejin. But all this battling between Yellowray and Heejin does put Teal in play too for this battle.
Certainly, Teal's just 2.5 seconds right behind him. So just kind of battle, but Teal is already on 7.0 medium tire, so that soft tire is going to come to him. He's going to bite him later in the race. As Chimkin's got a 3-second time penalty, as he has also hit the wall in the turn 2. Now he's not really going to car going. His car stopped there. In the car going, he's only checking for traffic. But if that yellow flag stays out for long, he might call safety car. No, he's got going again. So he's got to go again. No safety car course. Were you hoping for a safety car? Is he so?
It will be quite a fascinating race if the safety car does come out, because those drivers with penalties gonna suffer a lot more. But with the current fighting that's happening throughout all the position, I think it's quite a wonderful race to watch. And we still have yet to know whether Destiel will be able to keep his P1 and who's gonna be P2, and all this won't be known till the final lap.
Still a battle which is ongoing now, which is Yellowrack still holding his position against Heejin, even though he's on 14.0 hard tires now. So Yellowrack Chimkin's crashed! He's crashed at turn 9, turn 10. We told you something's gonna happen there, and it has. Chimkin is out of the race, and it's our second DNF here, and this time it's owing to terminal damage. The car's removed for a second. Well, no safety car too. Oh, that's surprising. It was quite a fascinating crash there. But no safety car, no drivers have blink as well. So, that's kind of interesting. But now, still the battles between Brandy He and Sky, and Yellowrack and Heejin, still to play for. Somehow, I don't know how Heejin's still not managing to get past Yellowrack, even with that fresh new tires. But if you're talking about Sky not getting past Brandy He, but I can understand they have the same strategy, but Heejin not getting past Yellowrack is kind of a surprise to me.
I think throughout the past few laps, Heejin has been trying to conserve his ERS, because at first Yellowrack does have way more ERS compared to Heejin, but right now Heejin and Yellowrack has the same amount of ERS.
So, it could be a game of chess to the end of the race if you think about it, and there's no safety car. And Heejin's even back off against Yellowrack now. Now the closest battle now, Brandy and Sky. Sky now, still on the back of Brandy He. I think that's still to play for. I see more wheel-to-wheel action between the Mercedes driver and Aston Martin right now. So, what's gonna happen here is, let's see. Sky just
One driver that is having quite a lonely race is Ryan because there aren't any drivers right in front of him or right behind him, and he's driving on a 18 laps old hard tire, so he does have a bit more 5 more laps to be done. So his hard tire is gonna be pretty much
Oh,
be
sorry to interrupt. No, look at that. A dive bomb thrown by Sky. Oh, and that didn't work out. He's going to lose more time. He's going to lose time there. But, well, you just seen a dive bomb by Sky and Brandy Heat. I think he's getting a bit impatient here. But, yeah, I mean, the drivers at the back, they are definitely running a really lonely race there. I'm pretty sure that, relative to the leaders, have a look at them, to the leader. You know, somehow, yeah, I believe they've already been lapped by the leaders as of now, especially Ken Samster.
right now. Tekro is right behind Roshan's robots.
Oh, how did it happen?
Gearbox. He's been catching up to Russian robots lap by lap, and now the gap between them is less than 1 second.
So, different
Tekro-
head battles now. You have Roshan and Takuro, Beniki and Sky. Keep an eye on them.
Yes, and Tekro has much more ERS compared to Roshan. So it's about deploying the ERS at the right moment, and Roshan robot's gonna most likely use his ERS for defense.
Great exit there from Taco Mensa. And now Taco Mensa is certainly going to throw offensive ship now. DRS now wide open. Can anything be done by Roshan Robot Hill, championship leader? Taco Mensa is going to dethrone him. No, things better of it. Things a wise move there. What about right behind? What about Sky and Brandy Heat? Questions to be answered here. No moves shown as well. Taco Mensa has a second attempt down and a corner. Not quite shuts the door there, Roshan Robot. Guys lost time with Brandy Heat at turn 10, but Taco hasn't. Taco on that medium compound tires is definitely a better tire compared to the hards. So certainly this gonna do pretty a bit more justice. Jack Samson's got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. But now Taco Mensa getting closer and closer and closer to Roshan Robot. No moves being shown again. This is quite a close battle if you ask me. But DRS open again. No moves. Now,
Tekro has been quite conservative towards in terms of his ERS, because even though he has way more ERS, he's actually not really deploying that much. But one driver that's way ahead has gained his composure is that still, because he hasn't set any hasn't have any track warning, and he's setting in good lap times, and right now he's 8 seconds way ahead.
Taco Mensa is getting very, very aggressive this time. I think it's very close. He might be throwing something. No, he's stuck behind. Roshan Robot, yeah, Roshan Robot, I think he's been using his ERS really well there. He's just using right enough to actually defend against Taco Mensa. Now he defends the inside line. Oh, it's almost pushing there, but Taco Mensa and Taco Mensa, whoa. We know he gets very precariously close to you, but he just does not attack you. I think he might be just. Oh, you made a mistake himself. Taco Mensa makes a mistake. He might compromise his exit. Yes, it's compromise. And I think that's it for Taco. He's going to reshape himself again. But now, what about Brandy and Sky? Brandy and Sky close up. No, Taco Mensa is close up again. So, very easy. So, do you think Taco Mensa will still get past Roshan in the very end, due to the ties?
It's hard to say, but Roshan Robot currently has a bit of an upper hand in terms of him being able to regain all the ERS compared to Tekro. And I do feel that Tekro has been a bit too conservative in terms of deployment, which has resulted in him giving Roshan Robot having the chance to gain back more ERS for his defense. So Tekro currently might not have the upper hand towards this battle, but he does have tires to help him out.
Sky's not waiting. Sky's going past. Sky's going past.
Oh, they went side by side through turn 10.
How they doing it? Oh, he pushed Brandy Heat off. He pushed Brandy Heat off. No, it's certainly. But do you think? I don't expect any moves going through that corner. But do you think Sky gonna be impatient now? Do you think he should have left him more room?
I do feel that for turn 10, it's gonna be super hard to have cars going side by side throughout that corner. So one driver has to yield. but none of them.
No, 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 no. And Takero's finally got past Rashawn as well. Down the start finish straight. Now that's where he wants to get past because he knows there's a final lap in the race and there's nowhere he can get past. And that's a strategic move by Mercedes driver that is going to inherit him the place against Rashawn Robot. But Rashawn Robot, I don't think is done yet. Well, I think this is a battle for third that we have to look out for. The battle between Sky and Brandy is done. Brandy, he is out of the DRS range from Sky, but now Tacker and Roshan, because they have got past cleanly through turns 9 and 10, it's still all to play for here. Let's go, boy, Roshan Robot. It is a final launch here, with DRS now giving the Roshan Robot. Who is going to win this? It's going to be no one's game. ERS used by both drivers, but DRS given Roshan Robot will give him P3, or is it? They're now all the way pushing each other through turns 9 and 10. They get past clearly and like Sky and Renegade, but now any dive on shot, no dive on shot as Destil wins the race. We have him talking about him. Skipper now in P2 will complete. Will he? Now he'll finish 4 seconds behind Destil still, and a long gap between himself and Roshan Robot will settle him in. Destil is a race winner today. Roshan Robot finishing third, Taco in fourth. Sky with a penalty will ultimately still finish behind Brandon here, and Till Hitchin still fighting it out. Hitchin's got a problem, I think, but Till will finish in 8th there, ahead behind his team in yellow, right? So it's the Red Bull 7 and 8th. Hitchin in 9th. So that goes his streak of top 5 finishes for Hitchin. And Ryan, on being lap, will complete the points with 23 lap 0 hot tires.
And currently, Brian did make a comment saying hard was the best tire for this race itself. I guess he had find a setup that suits him well for him to use the hard tires to last that long. But I do feel that Checo could have made his attacking way much earlier in order to create a gap for him towards Russian Robot. But when it's down to the last lap, he should have waited a bit longer till the third DRS zone to make the overtake. But props to that still when he had so much struggles at the beginning stages and being able to compose himself and coming off with the win.
It's so exciting. I mean, without one thing I realized is that we didn't get the benefit of the safety car, and we still had very good racing here. And I think, well, surprisingly, this is the first race this season that we did not have a red flag and we did not have a safety car as well. So, what are your thoughts about this easy test? Do you think, well, we really need a safety car to shake things up here in the GF?
It does prove that in GF it doesn't require a safety car to spice the race up because we have great drivers. There's battle happening every single positions. So it was a very nice race to watch, seeing Takro climbing up throughout the ranks, and they're still trying to retain his race positioning win. I would say this might be one of the better races that happening throughout this season itself.
Of course, I mean, we've always wanted to see clean racing between drivers. We may have drivers, we may have like stronger drivers or weaker drivers. I mean, yes, we do see a bit of a disparity in terms of the pace of the different drivers here, but well, we still get exciting racing, and yes, indeed, welcome Rashad Robot. Well, I believe Rashad Robot. Welcome to the raid. Thanks for raiding JF here, and he's obviously one of our podium sitters. Rashad Robot finishing in third, but yes, without further ado, let's bring you through the results. The top three. Destil, Skipper, and Roshan Robot finishing as where they qualified. Now, I don't think I've ever seen this in the Jeff here. It's always this big shakeup of all the positions because of a safety car, because of drama on track. But in Australia, surprisingly, we have our top three finishing where they qualified. Yeah. So, what are your comments about this?
It doesn't happen very often, but I would say throughout the whole entire race, we don't know who's gonna be first, who's gonna be second, or who's gonna be third. So I would this race itself was very spicy.
Of course. I mean, well, we didn't know until the very end. We did have a penalty, but that's still we have skippers getting a penalty, but ultimately a very good strategy from both of them propelled them to maintain the first and second spots that they qualified in. So amazing job from them. And beyond this opportunity, we do have Taco in fourth place. Almost getting Roshan Robot there. And third, and let's not forget Taco Mensa. He started from the back of the grid in 14th there. He DNF from the qualifying. He DNF from the he did not finish qualifying. Remember, he crashed into the pit wall and still managed to challenge for the podium there. So a very good job from Technomancer here, Easy Settle.
Yeah, but one driver that's gonna be a bit upset is Heejin because he did wonderful for qualifying, but ended up having a bit of an entanglement at the very first lap, and now he's down. End up he's finishing at P9, but he did put up a very good fight against Yellow Rag. But sadly to say, it's hard to. It's not every single race that will be yours.
Of course, Heejin definitely facing a bit of issue there. Didn't have the pace. Look at that. In terms of lap time wise, his lap time was only his fastest lap was only 1:21.2. I mean, if you look at his raw pace itself, Heejin throughout the course of the season, you expect him to be contesting up there with the front view. This time, only reading the midfield end and getting engaged in some battles. So Heejin in ninth, I think he'll definitely be well reflecting on his mistakes there, and I'm certainly sure that he'll come back stronger in the next race. Now,
Yeah.
continuing on from P4, we have Randy He in fifth, Sky in P6. A very strong showing from Mercedes team here, finishing fourth and sixth. Now, Red Bull is 7 and 8, Heejin in 9th, of course, and we do have lap cars there. Ryan in 10th, Sinpo in 11th, Gangster Hamster in 12th, 2 DNFs for this race, Chimkin and Nimes. Now, big winner here for this. Let's talk about the winners and losers for this race. Now, the winner, I believe, will be Mercedes, finishing 4th and 6th. So, in terms of the Constructor Championship, that's 20 points with both drivers scoring there into the Constructors.
Yeah, both Mercedes drivers put up a very good race, trying to fight for the points. At one point, Sky was even having a chance of having the race win, and Tekro being able to crawl all the way up to P4 is a humongous effort for him, and I think he should be very proud of himself of what he did today. And it isn't very easy, but there were other drivers that are that deserve some compliment. It's also simple. Might not be finishing in the points finishing position, but he managed to finish the race where it's very easy for the drivers to just spin out and crash.
Of course, we know 10-9-10 was so dangerous there. Well, claiming victims in both the qualifying and the race sessions, and Chimkin unfortunately falling foul for that. But now, definitely we have multiple drivers showing some teamwork there. We do have obviously the Mercedes team, Red Bull as well. We do have both Red Bulls finishing together in 7th and 8th. Well, I think it goes to show that we do have more teams beyond the Alpine team. Alpine, we only have the benefit of Roshan Robot today, but we do have multiple teams working together to achieve an objective. We did see both Mercedes drivers, well, maybe giving a bit of team orders there to actually stop positions constantly. And I think that's one thing we really want to see in the GF. We want to see driver collaboration between teammates here in this league.
Yep, and another team to look out for is the Williams. Despite Ryan finishing at P10, the Williams have Skipper finishing at second position, making their overall scoring for the Williams team a total of 19 points compared to Mercedes 20 points. So, I mean, Ryan tried to put in some effort to help out the Williams team himself, and I think he should be proud. Being able to last so long on the hard tires isn't easy.
Well, indeed. So it wasn't easy at all for drivers. I think, like, yeah, really, definitely want to comment about Ryan. 23 lap hard compound tires. I think that's something which Well, in the Williams as well. Well, easy to tell. Do you remember Alex Albon? I think one of the years in Australia as well. He did a fantastic 50-lap stint on the hard tires. They got him into the points.
Yep, and I think Ryan has tapped in to the inner Alex Albon within the Williams teams to be able to bring in such a result, and he should be proud of himself.
Of course. And Ryan as well, you just commented that he had less than half. He had less than half of lap of fuel left. So this was a very tight race for him. Well,
Yeah, a few drivers was quite low on fuel at the very last lap. I do remember seeing the fuel light on for Tecro's telemetry, and while he was fighting against Russian robots. So and I do feel that some other drivers might have been cutting it very close to towards running out of fuel.
of course, that was really close there. And we're just getting ready for a podium interview. I'm not sure where the drivers are. Without further ado, well, we expect them to be here in the voice calls to us, but so far no news here. Just waiting in the drivers to come in. Sorry for the delay here, but ET says I'm pretty sure you're excited to interview. I'll put him to this as well.
Yeah, and maybe we are facing a bit of technical difficulties, but I mean, if we do want to interview anyone, I think all the drivers deserve the interview because all of them put up a great fight throughout the whole entire race itself.
Of course, we did notice that the hard tires were very sturdy here, and certainly we would definitely want to get hold of Ryan too. 23 lap old hard tires. We didn't expect that to happen. I mean, surely he got lap. Surely he did have the fastest laps there, but I'm pretty sure that he'll be very happy with his performance there of doing that stint on the hard tires and still finishing in the points. So hats off to him. Oh.
Yep.
7. Oops.
So
We do have
Yes.
a few of the podium finishers right here with us. So I guess we can start off with Roshan Robot, who put up a very good fight with Taco at the very last few laps. So to you, Roshan Robot, how was it like for the very last lap fighting against Taco?
Yeah, I had fun overall. I mean, it was a very frustrating race for me. Yeah, I think it's a race to forget for me, to be very honest. But yeah, the last lap battle was pretty fun. He just told me he was low on fuel, so that's why he was sticking behind me. And then when he went, I was trying to be tactical, trying to let him go, but obviously he had to save fuel, so he was sticking back. And then on the last lap, I didn't expect him to make the move on the first start finish straight, but he did, and I knew I had enough battery to get him on the back straight, so that's what I did. And yeah, I mean, fair plays to Skipper, and they were too quick, and yeah, it's a race to forget for me because it's such a struggle. I pretty much kept losing the back end every corner, and yeah, I'm just waiting for next week, man. That's all I have to say.
All right, so one question to you, Roshan Robot. When you did see Destiel in the front get sort of a penalty, in fact, a 9-second penalty in front of you, do you feel motivated? Do you feel like there was a need for you to push or even work together with your rivals right behind you to actually try to get past Destiel? Do you have that kind of motivation?
To be very honest, I think I already knew that. I'm pretty sure I knew that his 9 seconds wasn't like a legitimate pen because uh Australia is pretty bugged with track limits and stuff. So I knew pretty much that his 9 seconds at most would come down to 3. So I knew I wouldn't be able to catch him. So and Skipper was already gone with his 3 seconds, which I always had the mindset of it being removed because you never know what can happen. So I already know they flew away. So P3 was the maximum I could possibly get. And obviously battling with Sky, it was a bit scary because he kept going for a pretty aggressive move. So and yeah, I mean overall, I guess it was a bit of motivation, but I already knew that some pens could get removed. So yeah, it's whatever. I mean P3 is still a decent result for me.
So congratulations, Roshan. I
Thanks, man.
believe that's going to extend your championship lead over second place. So good job, Roshan, and enjoy your weekend.
Thanks. Thank you.
Right. So next up, second place, we have Skipper. Welcome, Skipper, to the podium interview.
Hello.
Hi, so Skipper, once again, another very well-deserved podium here in the GF. So talk us through your race. It was kind of a lonely race towards the middle, but how was the initial phase with Destiel? I mean, you got to jump on Destiel in the initial phase, but well, I believe you must be feeling really, really happy with the first in the race, where you're just leading the race until you made a mistake. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I had a really good start on the mediums. I saw that Destil didn't have as good of a start, so I knew that that was my chance. And then with Roshan covering him, yeah, I knew I could just pull away. So I just gave it my all. And then once Destil actually got through Roshan, then that was like, I think, 4 seconds gap. But I made a mistake at around turn 3, turn 4. So I just half spun. That's how I got my 3-second penalty in one shot. So that was slightly upsetting, but still, it's Destil, you know. So we all know how fast Destil is. So to be anywhere near him, even to be ahead of him, I think that's very impressive. So I'm honestly quite happy.
So great job of battles of Destiel here. And well, given your P2 finish, well, that propels you ahead of Heejin. We know you're in a very tight battle between Heejin, yourself, and Taco for second in championship. So with this second place finish with rather 18 points, that puts you at top of the fight. You're into second place in the drivers' championship. So what are your thoughts right now? Do you think you still have the pace to get Roshan Robot for the overall win, given that you finish ahead of him? Or do you think that you're going to be satisfied with the second place?
I mean, I think I'll always try to get the first position, but I think it's 30 points gap, 35 points gap with 4 to 5 races left. So that's quite tough. Roshan is really, really quick all the time. So worst case, you know, he's always going to be on the podium, you know. So the points differential is really not much. So I think it will take more than just from my side, you know, doing well. You'll have to take some bad fortune for Roshan, unfortunately, you know, for me to
Thanks for that, man.
win. Yeah, but yeah, honestly, I think he has it in the bag right now, but I'll still try my best.
Indeed. Yep. So great friendly battles between both of you. And Easy says so. Any questions for Skipper?
Nope, and I just want to congratulate to all the podium finishers.
All right. So both of you, thank you, Roshan and Skipper, for attending the podium interview. Unfortunately, we do not have Destiel tonight. I think he's
Destil's in the
occupied.
driver radio.
So
I think y'all can drag him. He's in the driver radio.
driver radio.
He's here now.
Oh, he's here. Oh yes, we have Destiel finally
Yep.
here. So yes, welcome Destiel to the podium interview here.
Hello.
Hi, Destiel. So very amazing race from you. So first up, I believe you must have encountered a very difficult start, dropping the third place and getting a few penalties along the way. Well, talk us through that. What happened at the start?
Yeah, I was struggling very hard on the hards. They couldn't get any temperature. I was losing a lot of traction, and then I went wide. I don't know. I think it was turn 3 at one point, and I instantly got a 3 seconds. So that was a shame. But towards the end of this first stint, I got more comfortable with the tires, especially when the mediums are dropping off and the hards start becoming faster. So I was able to pull a gap and also didn't help Skipper with the mistake that he made, but you know, our game is fair. Then I wanted to extend my hearts as long as possible, so I waited for Skipper to pit. Then once he pitted, I was able to pit and try to extend the gap to as many penalties. Like 9 seconds, I got 9 seconds of penalties. So I tried to extend to 9 seconds just in case his 3 seconds got removed. And yeah, I think it was a good second half of the stint for me.
So I think it was like very good pace on the soft tires. So when you chose to actually go long on the hard tires, do you actually think the overcut will work, or how do you actually already plan to do the opposite of what Skipper did? Basically, do whatever he doesn't do.
Yeah, I started on the hard, so I was planning on going long anyway at the start. But I didn't know how bad the hards were, so in the end, I just stick to my run plan, see how long the mediums can go because I knew that Skipper might go mediums to softs, but the rest went mediums to hards, which is kind of strange because you can do the softest run here. So yeah, I just did what I could.
Of course, a very good strategic run, but obviously a very skilled driver. Desio. So I believe very impressive for a race win there. I think Easy Sizzle, you must be really impressed with Desio's performance today as well. I mean, despite him being a reserve driver, I think like he is definitely he has the pace, and I'm sure that sort of Verstappen is kind of dominance must be well appreciated by every single esports racing driver so far, including you, Easy Sizzle.
Yeah, and his qualifying lap has really shown how much skills he have in terms of this F1 game itself, and him being able to keep his composure with that 9-second penalty he has at the second phase of the Grand Prix, trying to create a gap so that the penalty doesn't affect him, requires lots of concentration and really like a bit of maturity.
Certainly, a very mature drive indeed from Easy Sizzle. I think like everyone's really happy with the top three today, and everyone of you finished well qualified. So congratulations, and certainly enjoy your weekend. And thanks for the racing. I believe everyone all appreciated it. All right, so indeed that's it for the podium interview that we have for tonight. So I think that's a driver that we really want to cover tonight, and one driver, not driver of the day, but I think that's a driver that we really want to focus on, and that's Ryan. 23 lap hard type. Okay, that's not Ryan. Or is he?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yes.
Hi, yes, hi.
I don't know if that hello got caught on stream, but yes, welcome Ryan for a very special interview tonight, and certainly I think there's only driver who did a very long stint on hard tires, and that managed to actually propel him into the points. So 23 lap hard compound tires, and well, obviously Ryan, you made a mistake early on in the race, and you decided to go long on hard tires. We thought you by pitting on lap 5 or 6, and you go on hard tires. Well, talk us through it about a 23 lap stint. Do you actually think you'll make it to the end?
Honestly, I didn't think that I'll make it to the end, cause at the last few laps I was really struggling for grip. So yeah, I was actually thinking of pitting, but pitting will put me behind Simpo, so I decided not to pit. That that's why I went very long for the hard stint. Yeah. Also the reason why uh but the reason why I pitted early is because I had front wing damage. That's why I pitted early. Yes.
Indeed, a very strategic call from Pitbull from the winners. But well, with that sort of Albon-esque kind of performance, well, we still have 3 more races remaining on the calendar. So, do you think you're going to employ such a strategy again for the next 3 races, and hopefully there'll be more fruit to come?
Maybe we need to have some. We most probably will do some practice on it and see if it's a good call to go long. I mean, this is not the first time I did a long stint. I did another I did it before in Imola last season, if I'm not wrong. Was it last season? I can't remember, but I did another long stint somewhere in Imola, and that got me a podium. So yeah, maybe doing long stints would be good in the long run.
Well, obviously, we did know that there was a lack of safety car this race, and obviously, we did have Desio right in front who tried to start on the same strategy as you. He started on hard tires, but ended up getting 3 time penalties owing to track limits. Now, if that sort of kind of thing is happening, did that affect your morale to continue staying on hard tires? Do you have any thoughts of changing to a different compound tire?
To a different compound tire. Not really. Cause for me, started on mediums. Mediums didn't feel great at all. There wasn't any grip for my setup. So yeah, hards honestly felt way better than the mediums. It felt like there was a lot of grip, way more grip than the medium tires. So that's why I decided to stay a bit longer on the hard tires as well.
And I believe that really, really worked out for you this evening. And congrats on your 1 point. I mean, no one knew that you actually get a point, but you managed to prove everybody wrong. So congratulations, Ryan, on your amazing race that you performed, and I believe you really enjoyed it as well. Easy, so any questions for our special mentions for today?
Nope, I just want to congratulate him on the points finish and job well done.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Yes. All right. So, well, to conclude today's race, well, easy so I think, well, Australia never fails to bring us action, whether there's a safety car or not. And I'm pretty certain that this is a race reflecting and moving on. I believe that every race of the JF will have some form of drama, regardless whether there is drama on track or not. I believe it is having interesting racing action. It is completely independent of drama that occurs on track.
Yeah, lots of drama has been happening throughout the whole entire race itself, and I mean it's JEF, so all kinds of drama does happen. But I would say today's kind of drama is the type of drama that all our spectators do love, because seeing cars going wheel to wheel, especially throughout turn 9 and 10, can be quite scary but very interesting for all of us.
Well, I mean, there's always good drama and bad drama. We call it Taiwanese drama, Australian drama. Turns out Australian drama really suits our taste buds for today's race. Now, moving forward to race 9. Where's race 9 going to be held? Is it going to be? Is there a confirmed location? Just looking at my calendar right now. Where's race 9?
It's gonna be Brazil.
Oh yes, Brazil is indeed. Interlagos second. So another race where we had a very dramatic ending as well. We know Brazil, one of the shorter circuits in the calendar, there'll be more laps to form. In terms of lap time, we're expecting 70-second lap times, and of course, the potential for rain in Brazil. And we all know what rain in Brazil will be like. Remember Max Verstappen last year? Well, had getting pulled in a very, very dark circuit owing to the bad weather. Kevin Magnussen back in 2022 getting his first ever pole position due to bad weather. Now, do you reckon that something similar is going to happen again? In this time in the GF setting?
It does have the potential of happening, because raining condition does make drivers that we usually don't really focus on become the star players. For example, Clement back in the few seasons ago, he's not that fast on the dry, but when it comes to wet, he does set a very fast lap time that can challenge for even the podium positions.
So, of course, we know the Brazil circuit, not only with rain causing a potential of bad weather, causing even more action on the circuit, but we also have similar circumstances affecting championships on race. We do remember 2008, we do have Lewis Hamilton passing Timo Glock. Now, indeed, this is not the final race of the calendar, but we do have Roshan Robot now with about 142 points, a 42-point lead over Skipper. And we do know that Roshan Robot, well, he might struggle. He's starting to struggle against the competition. We expect him to be a freaking race winner. He's still on the podium, but the competition is clearly getting to him. So, easy to so. Do you think something is going to happen in Brazil that may throw him off the train?
It's gonna be very hard to throw him off the train, because currently he's on a roll and he's putting in lots of good results in. And I mean, as you can see, for this race himself, he was a bit of at a back foot, but he managed to keep his composure and fight the competitors that are trying to get some points off him, and really come off on top.
Of course, Roshan Robert really consistent in terms of podium finishes, the top 5, and I think that consistency is really trying to extend his lead or make it sustain all the way. I mean, he still has over a race buffer at this point of time, but narrative is, when will that streak stop? Will it be sooner to? I believe Roshan Robert himself must be thinking, when is it time? Can I just end the championship now because I won that first place? But the question is, with 3 more races to go, and it's going to be a continuous back-to-back weekend sort of races. So anything might happen. The drivers have only less than a week to prepare from now on, and I believe it's going to be a very exciting season to conclude the sixth season of the GF. Now, we're about to bid you farewell. Enjoy your weekend. However, we're not gonna say see you in 2 weeks time, but Morph, see you next week. Now enjoy your weekend and see you on the 27th of April in Interlagos. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.